CBS News contributor and Republican strategist Frank Luntz is also in Cleveland. Frank, good morning.
Good morning.
I know you tweeted last night this, quote, "Mark my words, the speech will put Trump even or ahead of Hillary in the polls by Monday when the Democratic convention begins." What makes you think that?
Well, I want to put this in perspective. There are two objectives in any of these conventions. Number one is to convince people that the opponent isn't worthy of their support. And then two, to prove that your candidate can be the next president of the United States. On the first, they did a magnificent job. 3 nights of the whole record of Hillary Clinton. And in our focus groups, and it was the same one that we used for you on Sunday, we tracked them every single night of the convention. Not a single person of those 20 people are considering voting for Hillary Clinton today. However, when you only spend 1 hour in the entire convention on pro-Donald Trump, that leaves people a little bit disappointed. The speech was significant. On policy issues, they divided. Those who lean Democrat didn't like a lot of what they heard. But those who are independent and lean Republican were very much enthusiastic. So when it was done, 8 of the 20 people were supporting Trump. Remember, they had no position, no preference at the beginning on Sunday. 8 of the 20 were supporting Trump. 12 of them were still undecided. It's a very good, not a great response, but a good response.
So he used the word violence 11 times in his speech. Terrorism was used 9 times. And the word hope was used 0 times. A lot of candidates always use the word hope. So did this tone resonate with the voters, do you think?
It resonated up to a point. Gail, 71% of Americans think the country's headed off on the wrong track. That's much higher than during the Reagan convention of 1980 or the George Herbert Walker Bush convention of 1988 that you played earlier. The fact is we are more negative today towards the direction of the country than at any time since 2008 in that election, and that was the most ever. So I'm not surprised that Trump took.
Yeah. Are winning campaigns reflective or are they aspirational and visionary?
And optimistic?
That's a great question. The answer is that they are reflective. The Trump campaign is reflective of where Americans stand at this point. But I think this is important. What got Donald Trump to the Republican nomination does not get him to the general election. And I think that still those strategists are focused on what turns on base Republicans rather than what will impact those swing independents.
So where do you think it'll be after the Democratic convention, Frank? After the Democratic convention.
So that's where, after the Democratic convention, I expect Hillary Clinton to have a 1 or 2 point lead. And more critically, Charlie, because these national polls actually mean nothing. It's the 6 or 7 swing states. I predict that the 2 of them will be within the margin of error in virtually every single swing state. And what does that mean? Basically, 3 months of the most negative campaign that the American people have ever seen.
He yesterday referenced Bernie Sanders voters and said that they will probably be coming on over to Team Trump. Have you seen any signs of that? And Bernie Sanders himself tweeted, that's not happening. He didn't say it that way, but he said, no, none of his people are going over to Team Trump. You seen any sign of that?
Well, actually, among Bernie Sanders supporters under age 40, there's no way that they would support Donald Trump. However, among those Sanders supporters who are 50 and older, absolutely. And the reason why, what matters to them most is significant change. And the best line of the convention was when Mike Pence, the vice presidential nominee, said that Hillary Clinton wants to be secretary for the status quo. They don't want the status quo, and Donald Trump represents change. This is an absolute dead heat election.
And that line got no attention. Mike Pence gave a great speech, and just because Ted Cruz overshadowed that whole speech, All right, Frank. Hey, good to have you.
And here's what's interesting. I went to several Republican delegations yesterday, and they are really mad at Senator Cruz. If there's one thing that can unite the Republican Party, it's when you attack its nominee. So Ted Cruz, by not endorsing, actually helped the Trump campaign.
That's their argument as well.
Yeah. Frank, thank you so much from Cleveland. We appreciate it. And the Democrats kick off their convention on Monday. And we're going to broadcast CBS This Morning next week.
We are?
Yeah.
Who said, Nora?
We're going to keep on going, Gail.
Okay.
Keep on going.
You're leaving this afternoon.
Okay, great.
We're going to be at the National Constitution Center. That's in Philadelphia. And we'll have primetime specials from the Democratic National Convention that begins Monday night at 10, 9 Central. And you can watch nonstop coverage next week on our 24-hour streaming news network, CBSN.